And I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
If you don't like NFTs, if you don't like crypto, the ethical thing to do is quit Twitter.
Apparently.
But they're not. People are complaining on Twitter about NFTs and crypto and blockchain on a platform that has wholeheartedly embraced the technology. Like, it's going to get worse from here on out.
Literally today, I was checking my Twitter and this picture popped up on my thing. This introducing NFT profile pictures. It came up on my phone.
Yeah, they're going all in on NFTs and crypto on Twitter. Now, I want to disclaim this video before we get into it any further. This is not a video, telling you should like NFTs or telling you that, you shouldn't have the feelings you have about NFTs. I am trying to point out the hypocrisy in boycotting platforms that support NFTs and complaining about it on a platform that supports NFTs.
Right. And like for me, I don't like them. I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody else they can and can't do it. I mean, if somebody gets one and they're happy about it, I'm happy for you. That's cool. I'm not going to judge you or tell you can't do it. Because if people want to go in on that, that's up to them. And that's their money. And they're, cool for them. For me, it's just hard wrapping my head around it because it's not something that, for me, like, it's a tangible thing. Like, I keep calling it not fucking tangible. Sorry for swearing, but it just, to me, for me, I just can't wrap my head around spending that much money for a picture that I can just make myself and put on my... I'll put a different shape around it. Mine will be a triangle, or something. And it's just, to me, it seems like a waste of money, in my opinion. However, I completely understand why people are spending money on it. I completely understand why people like it. And, you know what? If they were something they want to get into, then yeah, go them. I'm not going to judge you anyway. I'm like, if you're happy, that's cool.
But this has become the latest ideological purity test. Now, especially with comic book people, it's like if you support crypto, Bitcoin, NFTs, blockchain in any form, you are unethical. Meanwhile, they're complaining the loudest on Twitter, which, again, totally embraces the technology.
We're going to put out some tweets here in a bit. I just want to make sure I say, do not contact these people. Do not harass these people.
No.
We're just using them as examples of what's going on. But do not harass anyone.
Yeah, so before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 256,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about pop culture, we talk about making comics, and we talk about NFTs. And NFTs have become weirdly demonized in the comic book space.
It's really strange.
I know that some comic book creators are not on board with it. Other companies are absolutely going all in on NFTs. Like every comic book publisher now seems to be going all in on NFTs. But we saw this weird thing happen, a couple of months ago where Kickstarter announced that they were going to, use blockchain technology and that they were basically going to license out their platform, to other creators if you wanted to host your own website and use the Kickstarter technology, the Kickstarter engine. And I actually thought it was a pretty good idea. Now, they weren't talking, I don't think, about NFTs. They were basically we're using blockchain for security, and you can pay for crowdfunders with crypto and all that.
Right, they're getting mad about the crypto too.
Yeah.
Any of that. Now, I mean, again, if that's something that you like and you want to embrace, then by all means do it. Don't let these people tell you can't.
Right. But the thing is that the comic book industry, weirdly, is policing anyone who has anything to do with NFTs, and they're quitting Kickstarter. And
so wait, let me get this straight. So they used to police anybody who that were wrong thinkers in Comicsgate, and now even if you pass that purity test, if you like NFTs or crypto in any way or shape or form, you need to be outlawed for that reason.
What
kind of gate's this going to be?
I don't know. The problem is
Niftgate.
What?
Niftgate.
The problem is you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's so ridiculous. It's like, I don't know where you intend to go, because even PayPal, they're like, support creators with PayPal or support creators with Shopify or whatever. I'm like, you understand both of those deal in cryptocurrency, right?
And that's what gets me. It's like, just because you just don't accept it then. It's not a big deal. Just like, they're all the companies, I'm sorry, are getting onto this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what company they are. I said even Disney was looking for somebody to hire to
absolutely.
do this. They're all going to go on it. There's nowhere for you to go.
And Substack is being demonized because, it's got wrong thinkers on Substack. Are you yourself publishing offensive material who the hell cares? And then there's this thing, going around this sentiment that Substack was only hiring, straight white guys and giving them deals. And I'm like, half the people they hired are not.
Yeah, I know. But it's because it's the narrative they're trying to
And
spin.
then they're like, no, stay away from Substack, everybody. Well, now here we have a Marvel editor leaving for Substack.
Because they're getting paid.
They're actually getting paid. Look, the reason people are going all in on the NFTs and the crypto and the Substack is because it's one of the few places in comics where you can actually get paid decently anymore. And yeah, I totally believe the Substack money is going to run out. I think it's venture capital, but
so these people that are jumping on this, are they going to be like, they're going to be blacklisted?
Probably.
Other friends are going to unfollow them, and they're going to appear on these lists that like we did, even though we had nothing to do with any of it.
When everybody's Comicsgate, no one is.
That's right.
I mean, what seriously? Like, what mental gymnastics?
Well, this won't be Comicsgate. This will be something else. Let's call it something else.
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Kickstarter, problematic. Going on the blockchain. We've got people leaving Kickstarter. You're not allowed to use Kickstarter because it's on the blockchain, which it hasn't done. They haven't switched over to that yet, by the way. It's in the pipeline. You can't use Indiegogo because of Comicsgate. Oh my God,
Well, they're going to be using it too. Damn well.
Yeah.
They all are.
They'll try to gatekeep that. You can't use Substack because wrong thinkers on Substack.
You can't use PayPal because they're using stuff like that.
Right. So this tweet was going around yesterday. This is who is this? Nadia Shamus, who again don't contact anybody, but this is a comic book creator.
Okay.
And I had someone send me this tweet yesterday, and I kind of thought this dovetails nicely with everything we've been talking about, because what are you going to do? She says, now more than ever, we need to directly support creators. Okay, with what, PayPal?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I agree to directly support creators. I don't disagree with that.
Rocks? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Because between the lack of convention sales, true,
yeah,
and the increasingly vanishing ethical platforms.
Wait, because they use crypto or NFTs, they're not ethical anymore.
They're not ethical.
As she says, on a non-ethical platform.
You are on Twitter. Again, to my point, the purpose of this video is to point out the hypocrisy of leaving platforms because of crypto and NFTs, and you're on a platform that just made a big deal about going all in on it.
Just wait till she makes it about isms and phobes in a minute.
We get there. We get there. We're going to see a lot of the most vulnerable and brilliant creators choked out of the scene. No!
You're choosing to be choked.
You're choosing
if
to
you
be choked.
leave, it's because you're choosing to. No one's forcing you out.
No one is forcing you out. You are forcing yourselves out. You're forcing each other out. Because you're telling people they can't use a platform because it offends your sensibilities.
Right. So basically, what they're saying is, if you don't do what I want, it's because of your istophobic platforms.
We're gonna choke you out, is what. But look, this to me comes across as more gatekeeping. Like, oh, it's a real shame that people aren't gonna be allowed to use these platforms anymore because we decided, and we're gonna harass any creators that use Kickstarter or Substack.
But they're trying to say that they're being forced out when they're not being forced out. They're choosing to leave. And then this next part, there are obviously layers to this, no shit. But it's cruel that often the most marginalized people at the whims of large tech companies are the ones who have to choose to take a hit for a moral stance. Bullshit, Nadia! Why is this about marginalization? It has nothing to do with marginalization. No one is keeping you off the platform. No one is saying you can't use it. No one is keeping you off of it in any way, shape, or form. You yourselves are choosing to leave because of this boogeyman that you've made things to be, even though it's literally everywhere. Being on Twitter, you're encouraged. That's acceptable to you for that.
Yeah, right.
But they're doing the same thing you're complaining about. But now it's keeping marginalized people down. No, it's not.
Look at this. Look at all these comic book publishers that are going in on NFT technology. Okay, look at the book. Like Nadia is an agented.
Yeah, right. Check your privilege there, Nadia.
Agented comic book creator.
By someone who doesn't believe in feminism. By the same agent who told me that I wasn't feminist enough because my character smiled when a boy liked her.
And I guarantee you, the book publishers that you're pitching to are probably going to use blockchain or crypto or NFTs at some point.
A I love this. This is so funny. Like they're literally shutting themselves in a room, locking the door, and then turning the lights off, and then yelling, "Oh my God, I'm being oppressed. They're keeping me in this room. Open the damn door. You put yourself in there. No one else did."
Go ahead and starve. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, the choice is yours. If you don't like NFTs, don't buy or sell NFTs. But you can't outrun this whole thing.
Go start your own platform, but you still take payment from somewhere, and all the payment processors are using blockchain crypto NFTs of some form.
You could build something on your own. I mean,
but how are you gonna take payments?
You're gonna have to start your own bank. Oh wow, this is getting complicated, and you're also gonna have to learn how to code. Learn to code.
I just think it's funny too, because like for example, electric cars. They keep pushing electric cars. If the problem with blockchain, NFT, and all that crypto is because of electricity it's using in-house, destroying the planet. If you switch everybody to electric cars and everybody's using the electricity to charge their cars, what do you think is going to happen? And guess what? You still need oil to run those cars. And and even like wind turbines still use oil.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't think this through. But they literally are like enclosing themselves and then saying that everybody's keeping them there. They're keeping themselves there. Like, you can walk out at any time. You're choosing to isolate yourself and then yelling at everybody else and saying it's their fault. But the whole blaming it on marginalized, that it's against marginalized people, that one takes the taco. Speaking of take the taco,
we're gonna talk about taco taking princess here in a couple of minutes, but I just want to point out, like, what kind of set me off on this whole thing was I saw these people, giving high fives to each other for getting companies to stop with the NFTs, and they're using Twitter to bully companies out of supporting.
Well, those companies
NFTs.
Do them. That's their own. That's on them. They're the ones that are left behind. But they might not support. Okay, they don't support NFTs, but they're still using blockchain or crypto.
They're going to have to at some point. Like, you don't understand. This is Web3. Within a couple of years, even if they're not doing NFTs, most companies in some capacity are going to be using blockchain technology. It might even be as simple as, like, the website host. Our hosting company uses blockchain technology to make sure our site is more secure. Little stupid shit like that, and it's not going away. And you can think NFTs are dumb, and I personally am like, I just don't get the point. I mean, I'm like, I understand people are getting their art stolen. I get that. But again, cutting yourself off completely from ways to monetize your comics and then going out there and complaining you're not making any money.
And then saying it's because of istophobia.
Istophobia is fucking stupid. Like, Kickstarter, they were literally throwing people off of their platform. They were trying to gatekeep it as hard as they could.
But they wish they had those people back now.
I bet they do. I think that's what they're trying to do, is get some of those people back because they went to Indiegogo. But you can't use Indiegogo because that's where the Yahtzees go. And you can't use Substack because that's where the transphobes are.
But I want to know how they're going to take payments. Because pretty much all the payment processors are have some connection to the blockchain, crypto, or NFTs.
You forced us to give up on comics and go to OnlyFans, where we take PayPal payments and Bitcoin payments.
Right. I'm like, there's no way you can avoid it.
It's like, I don't know what to tell you.
You can keep screaming all you want, but this whole idea, I'm going to make it about marginalization. That is the dumbest thing ever. This has nothing to do with that at all.
You're tweeting from your iPhone. Who the hell do you think made your iPhone? Why don't you look into that?
Mm-hmm. You're so offended by the environment and people being misused. Yeah.
Look at the tag on your clothing. Where were your clothes made? Mm-hmm. Who was making your clothes?
Who's printing your books?
Who's printing your books?
What's going on there?
Everybody was like, they were all on board with, like, let's get our books printed in China. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure.
You see people yelling about, the Milan thing near concentration camps and stuff.
I'm like, look, I'm just telling you, like, at some point, you can't. I mean, this is kind of the situation with. This is why I talk about the religious left, because the religious right kind of fell into this too for the longest time.
But you can never be pure enough.
You can never be pure enough. You can't be a part of this world. And I'm like, but then you get to the point where you're Amish. Okay, I'm going to bring this up, right? Because I'm sure Amish people are watching us on YouTube. No, so even the Amish now, and there are a lot of them in Western Pennsylvania, they're rocking cell phones. Mm-hmm. We signed the lease on our
this is funny.
Our third, and it's funny, people were like, oh yeah, you just do YouTube. No, we do a lot of other stuff. We just signed a lease on another commercial space for another business. And we had to have some electric work done. And it was the electric Amish. He came in, he's an electrician, he's Amish, he did a good job. But what I'm saying is, like, you can't cut yourself off from this completely unless you go off the grid or something.
Well, I was going to say, go off the grid. And I was going to say, but you know what? Fine. If you want to go off the grid, by all means, I encourage it. Please do.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Please do.
That is, look, the one thing I love about Twitter going all in on this shit and chasing paid subscribers and chasing crypto bros and all that. The one thing I love about it is I'm really, really, really hoping that all of the weird ass people that came in from Tumblr in the last couple of years are so offended by the direction of Twitter that they leave and Twitter goes back to being what it was like 8 or 10 years ago.
Well, they'll work until they go to Tumblr, and then Tumblr's like, we're rolling out our NFT program. But back to the Twitter thing. So, and the purity test. Okay, we're going to take us back to tacos and Brie Larson. So we mentioned this before. Brie Larson stepped in it